Some of the strangest stories in history are true. That's what makes them hard to believe. Here are 5 moments from history that sound fake, but actually happened. Number 1. This man kept fighting World War II for nearly 30 years after it ended. In 1944, Hiro Onoda was sent to a remote island in the Philippines with one order: never surrender. When Japan surrendered in 1945, he didn't believe it. For 29 years, he lived in the jungle, carrying out guerrilla raids, avoiding capture, and refusing to give up. Letters from home, leaflets dropped from planes, even news reports were dismissed as enemy tricks. He finally surrendered in 1974, only after his former commanding officer personally ordered him to stand down. For him, the war never ended. Number 2, there's a hidden room inside Mount Rushmore, and you're not allowed to enter it. Behind Abraham Lincoln's carving is a sealed chamber called the Hall of Records. Sculptor Gutsun Borglum designed it to store America's most important documents, including the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. But in 1939, the funding ran out and the project was never completed. But the chamber is real and still sits hidden inside the mountain today. A secret room inside one of the most famous monuments on Earth. Number 3. Ancient Egyptian history would have been lost forever if not for one stone's discovery. For centuries, no one could read ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, leaving a whole civilization in the shadows. Then one stone changed everything. In 1799, French soldiers discovered the Rosetta Stone in Egypt. It contained the same text written in 3 scripts: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Greek. Because scholars could already read Greek, they finally cracked the code, and Jean-François Champollion's work unlocked thousands of years of history that had been silent for centuries. Today you can find the Rosetta Stone in the British Museum, preserved for generations. Without it, much of ancient Egypt would still be a mystery. Number 4. Did you know that Melbourne was almost named Batmania? One of the world's most famous cities almost had a name that sounds straight out of a comic book. In the 1830s, settler John Batman struck a deal with the local Aboriginal people to build around the Yarra River. And when the time came to pick a name, the name Batmania was in consideration as a tribute years before Gotham City existed. For a brief moment, it was the leading option, but eventually they chose Melbourne in honor of Lord Melbourne, the British Prime Minister. Today you'll find tiny reminders of the name Melbourne almost entered history under, a name that sounds fictional, but wasn't. Number 5. There's a belief that if these birds ever leave the Tower of London, Britain will fall. That's right. The Tower of London holds priceless jewels, but the most important ones are these ravens who stand guard. Legend says if the ravens abandon the tower, the kingdom will collapse. The belief dates back to the 17th century during the reign of King Charles II, when he was warned by astrologers. Since then, at least 6 ravens have always been kept there at all times. These ravens are looked after by a dedicated raven master, have their own names, and even a special diet. They've outlasted kings, wars, and centuries of history, and they're still there today, standing guard over the kingdom. All of these moments sound impossible at first, but they all really happened. And they're reminders that history isn't just dates and names, it's full of surprises we're still uncovering.